So there's a lot of reform that, and we talked offline about this, that I'm more than willing to share with the department heads as well as, members of our political committee, but in particular, George Floyd. I can tell you right now, in the academy, teaching the academy as long as I have, there's not one tactic that we ever teach to do something like that, where you put your knee on the back of an assailant or a suspect's neck, especially someone that's restrained. And there's so many other questions as an instructor that I would ask during that particular incident, especially I pull him out of the car and all these other things that happen. There's so many finite details that the public's just not aware about, that I would ask as an instructor, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? But as far as that tactic, I can guarantee you someone taught him that.
Yeah.
Or that was a tactic that's been exclusively accepted in that department. And I can tell by his demeanor that he doesn't realize he's doing something wrong. You know what I mean? And the other officers around too may have questioned because they had some prior training that kind of raised a red flag. Hey, can this guy breathe? But for the most part, it looks like that's a tactic that's widely accepted in that department, or something that's maybe taught by somebody, which is again falls back on the instructor, which we kind of brought up, was if you don't portray to the cadet that the people's best interest, even restraining yourself from using force, is in the best interest of the people, then you will have incidents like the George Floyd and several other incidents throughout, the nation that we've seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And all sorts of training.
So that was not a trained tactic or taught?
It's not a trained tactic, what I call Southern policing.
Yeah, the knee on the neck.
That we train like that. And even in the federal circle, where I've had the privilege of training the National Park Service, where we've ever, not even at the federal level, have we ever discussed or demonstrated techniques on doing that, Especially someone that's restrained.
Sure.
Especially someone that you may have some inclination that they may have some intoxicants in their system, whether it's alcohol or narcotic, which is, again, falls back to training, is should the officer be able to identify that this person is acting erratically or not acting normal, which would leave the officer to believe, is there some type of intoxicant, or is this organic? Is this a mental health issue? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's that. So it's a lot of training. You can throw cultural diversity all day long at somebody. So now change up the environment and give somebody that may be under mental health issues along with illegal narcotics in their system, and now they're behaving violently because of the altered psychosis.
Wow. Okay.
And now deal with that systematically. And on top of that, you work in this big box of constitutional law and use of force, Mm-hmm. So things can go very dynamic very, very quickly, as we've seen around the nation. But for the most part, and I can attest, at least in the training that I've given and that I've seen, observed, is that's not a tactic that we teach.